Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful day in southern Maine, and I figured it'd be a perfect opportunity to jump out here, talk about some cool Tesla stuff, talk about how you can save some money on your brand new Tesla if you were kind of on the fence, even get some free supercharging miles. And Cybertruck is all over the place, and we're going to dive into that a little bit, and then also some of the stuff that you guys know already from watching the other videos that I've had and anybody's had. But we're going to talk about the supercharging network for Tesla in general and how it's an advantage that would change your world. So sit back, relax. You guys are watching The Tall Tesla Guy. We're going to start right out with the superchargers because honestly, I've done multiple videos talking about this as a major advantage. Certainly a first mover advantage with Tesla and over any other EV that's out there. Okay, so now I know that there's outside of superchargers, there's Electrify America, there's a charge point, there's destination charges that you can get in different places. But the challenge with them, to be honest with you, is that either they're not maintained properly, they're not functioning well. Now, I know not every supercharger is either, but they seem to take better care of their stuff than some of these other companies do. And Electrify America is another one. The challenge is that you get to some of these destination chargers, these level 2 chargers, even if they're DC's fast chargers, advertised, they either don't work, they're broken, it doesn't charge the way that it's supposed to, it doesn't charge how it's advertised, or in general, your charge time is going to be hours. One of the main barriers to entry into the EV market, I feel like, for most consumers is the amount of time it takes to charge. It's hard to pull yourself away from the fact that there is a gas station around every single corner when you're thinking about this kind of stuff. And then you start to say to yourself, well, there isn't a charging network that will support my daily driving, okay? Now, I had that same concern before I started too, and I can say that on average, you're not going to be driving 150 miles a day, probably. You're just driving to the office and back home. You're driving out to get groceries or do some shopping or whatever you're doing, and the regular charging that you get at home, regardless of the type of EV you have, will more than satisfy that charging need. However, when you do want to take that road trip, you don't want to have to think about it. I know I didn't with my Tesla. I didn't want to have to think about it. I want to be able to just go and know that there's charging opportunities along the way. Well, Tesla has it, and that's the supercharging network. That's the first mover advantage that Tesla came out with, is this superchargers. They started building superchargers faster than they were selling the cars in the beginning. They're actually wherever you want to be. There's 30,000 of them across the globe. They're all over the country, certainly along the highways. In fact, we have 5 new setups in the area that I'm in now. So it is something that pulls the concern for charging out of your mind a little bit, so you don't have to worry or think about it. So that kind of leads me into some of the concerns or some of the challenges that other people were having. I know a bunch of people that bought the Rivian R1T, they bought the truck, they bought the R1S, they have Chevy Bolts, they wanted the F-150 Lightning, and they took them on trips and they went on general drives and they tried the network, the infrastructure network, the charging network, and it was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. And I can say happily, probably crossing my fingers, I've never come to a supercharger that wasn't working right. I did come to one that was slow, but I really just moved down the road and it was fine. Outside of that, I've never had an issue with it, not even a little bit. So I can drive comfortably knowing that I'll always be able to charge somewhere at a supercharger. And you just check out the videos of driving without it, check out the videos of driving using other charging networks, and it's easy to see the challenges. It's easy to see that it's not as easy as it's going to be. And unfortunately, if you were driving in a Chevy Bolt, for example, and you went to a supercharging network, that was your first EV, and it was, or a non-supercharging network, and it was an absolute mess, and you had a terrible experience, you would probably get rid of that car, go back to a gas vehicle, and tell all your friends that the electric vehicles are a mess. They're a nightmare. It's not worth it. It's not worth the concern, the headache, or the challenge, the charge challenges. And you'd probably be rightfully so, especially considering the network that you're charging in. Now, had you started with a Tesla instead and you went to the supercharging network, you never would have experienced that poor quality charge that you get from these other charging networks, fortunately, and you would probably have a completely different response to tell your friends. I know I do. I tell everybody I like it. I like the car, I like the drive, all that kind of stuff. And it's something that you don't get with any other EV. In fact, I don't get it with any other, even gas vehicle. So that kind of jumps into one of the promo specials that Tesla did. And now this isn't something that's unique for this year. They do this every year, it seems, or at least for the past few years, where they will offer a special, an incentive to get the vehicle by the end of the year, before the end of the year, take delivery before the end of the year. Now, I know they did it in the past by offering premium connectivity. They offered, enhanced autopilot. They've offered, discounts on the vehicle. Well, they're doing the same thing this year. Take delivery by the end of the year. You get $3,200 off. I believe it's a Model 3 and a Y, or at least a 3. And then also 10,000 miles of free supercharging. If you get a Tesla right now and take delivery by the end of the year, and assuming that they have quantities to be able to suffice that delivery, you get $3,200 off the price plus 10,000 miles of free supercharging, which is huge. Honestly, I have over 10,000 miles in this car now, but that's almost a year of supercharging. I charge at home predominantly, and most likely you will as well, should you buy a Tesla. But if you are on the road traveling, if you didn't have access to a home garage, if you didn't have access to charging where you live, the other option is the Supercharger network, which is something that you definitely take advantage of. So taking advantage of this, taking the delivery before the end of the year, is going to be a huge incentive for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people are going to jump on it. Now, that goes into something else that Tesla kind of promises and takes away a little bit. Honestly, I didn't place a delivery or an order for the Cybertruck, but I know a lot of people that did. And the people that did are getting a little frustrated with the fact that it's not out there yet. Other companies have come out with the trucks. The Rivian R1T, the Ford F-150 Lightning, the Hummer EV. Even though they might not be in the same price point, it may not be the same kind of vehicle, the Cybertruck was announced in 2019. And it's 2022, almost 2023, and it's still not here. It's one of those things that's starting to, wane people's confidence on the vehicle itself. Maybe they don't need it anymore. I'm sure they're going to drop orders on it. And it just, it makes you wonder what's happening to it. They actually just put on their website that they are tooling the machines currently to be able to produce the Cybertruck down in Giga Austin, I'm sure in Fremont as well. So that made me think, hey, if they're tooling them now, they'll probably go into pre-production in 23, and then I'm guessing by 2024, you may actually see a product that's out there that maybe we'll see it in the wild, outside of when Elon drove it to the Tonight Show there. I just feel like it's not there yet. Who knows where it's going to be? Elon says he's not changing it much. I have a feeling he's going to, but nonetheless, Cybertruck news, unfortunately, is no news. Now, no news is probably good news in that he's not dismissing it. He's not taking it off the options yet. You can still order it. You can still potentially hold your breath and dream that it's coming down the road, but it's not here yet. And unfortunately, it's probably not going to be here for another year or more. But hey, let me know what you think on that. Is that making you cancel your Cybertruck reservation? How are you holding your breath for other EV charging networks? And then also, are you going to pull the trigger on that Tesla? But hey, either way, I hope you guys are enjoying the weather. I hope if you get an opportunity to, I hope you guys are staying safe out there for sure, and that you're having a wonderful, fantastic holiday season, however you choose to celebrate it. So thanks for watching, everybody.